Self-belief doesn't begin with some magical feeling or sudden bursts of confidence. It begins with action. Small, intentional, consistent action. That's where people get it wrong. They sit and wait for belief to show up before they do anything meaningful. But that's not how it works. You don't believe in yourself first and then act. You act first. And through action, belief begins to grow. You show yourself what you're capable of by doing, not by waiting or thinking. The mistake is thinking you need to feel ready. But the truth is, nobody feels fully ready at the beginning. Even the best in the world were beginners once. They didn't know if they could do it. They just did what they could with what they had, and belief followed. You can't build self-belief while sitting on the couch thinking about all the reasons you might fail. You build it by taking a step forward despite the doubt. You make the call. You write the page. You go to the gym. You start the business. You don't have to feel strong to act strong. Every time you take action, no matter how small, you're sending yourself a message. You're telling yourself, I'm someone who follows through. I'm someone who tries. I'm someone who shows up. And when you send that message often enough, it becomes who you are. That's how self-belief is born. You prove to yourself day by day that you can handle more than you thought. And as the evidence stacks up, the doubts get quieter. You can't build confidence with theory. You need proof. And proof only comes through doing. Want to believe you're a writer? Write something every day. Want to believe you can be fit? Show up to exercise even when it's inconvenient. The doing is what makes the belief real. The more you act, the more you see yourself as capable. And the more capable you feel, the bigger the actions you'll take next time. And it's not about grand dramatic efforts. It's the small things, repeated, the daily disciplines, the promises you keep to yourself, the uncomfortable steps you take when no one is watching. Each one is like a brick. Alone, they don't look like much, but stacked day after day, they build a solid foundation, one you can stand on, one that will hold you when the winds of fear and failure try to knock you down. There will always be a voice that tells you you're not enough, that you're not ready, that it's too hard. But you don't have to listen to that voice. You can listen to the one that says, let's just do what we can today. That's enough. You don't have to see the whole path, just the next step. And when you take that step, the next one will come into view. Belief grows like that, step by step, action by action. Some days your action won't be perfect. Some days it'll be messy or late or smaller than you planned. That's okay. What matters is that you still took the step, that you didn't let fear or doubt keep you frozen. Self-belief isn't about being flawless. It's about being faithful to your process, to your vision, to your growth. And the more you take action in spite of your fear, the less power that fear has. You start to realize that the worst case scenario rarely happens, that failure isn't fatal, that rejection doesn't define you. You build resilience, you build grit, and from that you build belief. Not the shallow kind that fades under pressure, but the kind that holds steady when life gets hard. So don't wait for belief to show up at your doorstep. It won't. Go out and earn it. Step into the challenge. Show up for yourself. Do the work even if your hands are shaking. Do it unsure. Do it scared. Because every action you take, no matter how small, is casting a vote for the person you want to become. And soon you'll believe it, not because someone told you, but because you lived it. Your environment and daily habits are shaping you more than you realize. Whether you're conscious of it or not, everything around you is influencing your beliefs, decisions, and level of success. The people you spend time with, the thoughts you allow, the content you consume, and the actions you take each day, these are the ingredients of your mindset. And your mindset determines your results. You can have all the potential in the world, but if your environment is full of negativity, doubt, and excuses, that potential won't flourish. It's like planting a seed in bad soil. Even the strongest seed struggles to grow in the wrong conditions. That's why it's not just about working hard. It's about working smart. And smart means being intentional about your surroundings. Look at the people you spend the most time with. Are they building you up or tearing you down? Are they encouraging growth or enabling comfort? You don't have to cut everyone off, but you do need to protect your space. If someone constantly makes you doubt yourself, questions your dreams, or brings drama into your life, that's poison to your mindset. And a poisoned mindset can't produce strong belief. Sometimes we think we can stay the same while keeping habits that don't serve us. But that's not how change works. You become what you repeatedly do. If you start your day with distractions, waste time on gossip, or feed your mind with negative news, don't be surprised if you feel drained and stuck. What goes in is what comes out. You can't fill your mind with garbage and expect clarity, confidence, and courage to come out. You've got to build a space around you that supports the person you're trying to become. That starts with awareness. Pay attention to your routines. How do you start your morning? What do you do with the first hour of your day? Who are you listening to? What kind of conversations are you having? These small things seem harmless, but over time they shape your self-image. And self-image is everything when it comes to belief. If you want to build strong self-belief, create habits that reinforce your strengths. Start your day with intention, not reaction. Take time to read something uplifting. Write your goals down. Speak something positive into your day. These habits may seem simple, but they rewire your mind to expect growth, not failure. They prepare you to show up with energy and purpose. And don't underestimate the power of environment beyond people and habits. Even your physical space matters. A cluttered room can lead to a cluttered mind. An organized space helps you think clearer, feel calmer, and take action faster. When you walk into your room or office and it feels like it reflects your goals, you carry that energy into everything you do. Change doesn't happen by accident, it happens by design. You must design your environment to pull you forward, not drag you backward. That might mean limiting time with certain people. It might mean taking breaks from social media. It might mean waking up earlier or choosing a new podcast instead of the old playlist. These aren't just small lifestyle tweaks, they're mindset tools. They set the tone for who you are becoming. Every day your environment is either reinforcing belief or feeding doubt. It's either telling you that you can or reminding you of all the reasons you can't. And that voice becomes your inner voice. That's why you must be ruthless about what you allow around you. Not because you're better than anyone, but because you're committed to being better than you were yesterday. The fastest way to elevate your life is to upgrade your environment and habits. They are the foundation of who you become. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. So build systems that support belief. Build an environment that demands growth. Build habits that tell your mind every day, I am someone who gets better. I am someone who shows up. I am someone who believes. And with time, you won't just be acting like it, you'll be living it. Keeping promises to yourself is one of the most powerful ways to build self-trust, and self-trust is the foundation of real confidence. Most people think confidence comes from achievement, but it actually comes from alignment, from knowing that your actions match your intentions. When you say you're going to do something and then actually do it, no matter how small, you're telling your mind, I am reliable, I can count on myself. That message, repeated over time, becomes belief. The problem is, we often keep promises to everyone else, but break them with ourselves. We show up for the meeting, we meet the deadline, we help the friend, but when it comes to our own habits, goals, and dreams, we let things slide. We say we'll wake up early, but we hit snooze. We say we'll eat better, but give in to the same excuses. And with every broken promise, our self-permune takes a hit. Even if no one else sees it, we feel it. Deep down, we start to believe that our words don't carry weight, at least not for ourselves. But here's the good news. Just like trust can be broken, it can be rebuilt. You don't have to overhaul your life overnight. You just have to start keeping one promise at a time. Start small. Set a simple, achievable goal. Walk for 10 minutes. Read one page. Drink a glass of water in the morning. Then do it. That one act might not seem like much, but it's a vote for the person you want to become. And if you keep casting those votes every day, your belief in yourself starts to shift. The goal isn't perfection, it's consistency. Nobody keeps every promise all the time. Life happens. You get tired, you get distracted. That's normal. What matters is the pattern. Are you showing up more often than not? Are you returning to your commitments even after a setback? That's what builds identity. That's what builds trust. When you develop the habit of keeping promises to yourself, you also become more resilient. You stop relying on motivation to move forward because now you have discipline. You don't have to feel ready or inspired. You move because you've decided who you are. And that internal clarity gives you a quiet power. You're no longer controlled by outside circumstances. You have your own standards and you live by them. Another benefit of self-trust is that it quiets the noise. When you trust yourself, you stop looking for constant validation. You stop chasing approval because you already know where you stand. You're not trying to convince anyone. You're just living what you believe. And that authenticity is attractive. People trust those who trust themselves. They follow people who walk in their values. And self-trust also allows you to take more risks because you're not afraid of falling. You know that even if you fail, you'll pick yourself up. You'll adjust, you'll improve, you'll keep going. That's the kind of belief that can't be shaken. Not because you think you'll always succeed, but because you know you'll always show up. If you've struggled with keeping promises to yourself in the past, don't beat yourself up. You're not alone. The way back is simple but not easy. Start with honesty. Be real about what you're actually willing to commit to. Don't make promises out of guilt or pressure. Make them from clarity. Then guard those promises like you would a promise to someone you love. Because that's what you're doing. You're learning to love yourself enough to follow through. And each time you do, something inside shifts, a little stronger, a little clearer, a little more confident, until one day, you don't just hope you can do great things, you know you can. Because you've shown yourself over and over that when you say something, you mean it. That belief is earned. And the more you earn it, the more unstoppable you become. Small wins, gratitude, and learning aren't just feel-good concepts. They are essential tools for building long-term belief and achieving meaningful success. When people think about doing something big, they often imagine taking a massive leap, but most things worth doing aren't accomplished in one bold step. They're built little by little with consistent effort, thoughtful reflection, and an attitude that finds value even in the smallest moment. Small wins matter more than most people think. They create momentum. When you do something right, even if it's just waking up on time, finishing a task, or making a healthy choice, it creates a psychological signal that says, I'm making progress, and progress builds belief. You might not be at the top of the mountain yet, but each step you take shows that the climb is possible. You don't have to achieve the goal today. You just have to prove to yourself that you're moving in the right direction. The problem is people ignore their small wins. They say things like, it's not enough, it's just a small thing. But everything big was once small. Every great result started with an ordinary action. So if you want to believe in yourself, start noticing what's working. Start giving credit to the habits you're forming and the effort you're giving. Acknowledge your growth, even if it feels slow. Confidence doesn't grow from one giant success. It grows from 1,000 quiet victories no one else sees. Gratitude is another powerful piece. Most people think belief comes from what's missing, that if they had more money, more talent, or more support, then they'd feel stronger. But that mindset creates a gap between where you are and where you think you need to be. Gratitude closes that gap. It says, I may not have everything I want yet, but I have what I need to take the next step. And that mindset is powerful. When you practice gratitude, you stop focusing on what's wrong and start seeing what's right. You begin to realize how far you've come. You recognize the resources you already have, your experiences, your lessons, your resilience. Gratitude shifts your attention from scarcity to abundance, and when you feel abundant, you act boldly. You take risks, you speak with purpose, you trust your process. Gratitude gives you access to the fuel you already carry inside. Then there's learning, the ongoing process of growth. When you commit to learning, you send yourself a powerful message. I believe I can improve. I'm not stuck. I'm not limited. I can grow beyond my current skill set, my current situation, and my current mindset. That belief is transformational because it means no mistake is final and no failure is wasted. Every experience becomes a lesson. Every setback becomes data. Every challenge becomes a classroom. Learning also protects you from discouragement. If something doesn't go your way, you don't have to see it as proof that you're not good enough. Instead, you can see it as part of the process. You can say, I didn't get the outcome I wanted, but I got the insight I needed. That mindset keeps you in motion. It keeps you growing. And the more you grow, the more belief you build. The real magic happens when you combine all three, small wins, gratitude, and learning, into your daily life. When you finish a task, pause and appreciate the win. When you catch yourself complaining, shift to gratitude and name 3 things that are going right. When something goes wrong, don't shut down. Ask, what can I learn from this? These small habits create a powerful mindset loop. You begin to feel capable, thankful, and wise all at once. And those feelings reinforce each other, building a strong, steady foundation for belief. You don't have to wait for big wins to feel proud. You don't have to have a perfect life to feel grateful. And you don't have to know everything to be a learner. All you need is a willingness to notice the good, appreciate the growth, and stay curious. If you do that consistently, your belief will grow stronger every day. Not because life is perfect, but because you've trained your mind to see progress, purpose, and potential in every step you take. Believing in yourself and achieving cool things isn't about waiting for perfect moments or possessing rare talent. It's about choosing to take small, consistent steps that build confidence over time. When you act despite fear, shape your environment with intention, keep promises to yourself, and find strength in small wins, gratitude, and learning, you create a mindset that refuses to settle and a spirit that keeps rising. True belief is earned through daily commitment, and with that belief, there's no limit to what you can achieve.